last 11 games. Had a 32-20 game against Texas, but he does it inside and out. One of the best back-to-the-basket players.
Deonte Burton, nice touch.
See how they're finding the gaps in that zone early in this game, Bob. They're not just settling for the three-point shots. And if you get it in there early, it's going to soften up the defense. They'll start helping in, and then the kickouts will be open to the shooters.
Whistle away from the ball. That foul will go against the freshman Solomon Young.
Now watch the spacing right there. They're all about 15 to 18 feet apart. The Baylor Bears are spread out. You got shooters that you have to play on the perimeter. One-on-one opportunity. And by no means was that an easy shot. A little turnaround from 8 to 10 feet. You have to have incredible touch.
Solomon Young already with 2 fouls. And he has been a bit of a revelation for Steve Prohm. He has started over the past 4 games, making it 5 in a row today, averaging 9 points and 6.5 rebounds as a starter. Manu LeConte can't hit the 3, but now he goes to the bench. What did Iowa State gain by putting Young in as a starter, and what do they lose now with him on the bench?
Well, the things that they gained were just a blue-collar mentality. He's tough, he rebounds, he defends. Coach Prohm praised him really early in shoot-around today because he asks a lot of questions. He doesn't want to make mistakes out there on the floor.
Burton, a little too strong. The back tap, though, by Darrell Bowie. And it's out of bounds off of Baylor, says Byron Jarrett. And now Paul Jansen comes over. Those two will have a conference. And the call stays the way it is, despite the protestations of Scott Drew.
But I think the things that you're losing with Young on the bench is just his energy and his toughness that he brings. And obviously he's one of their best post defenders, if not their best. He had the starting assignment on Motley.
Burton again, a little too strong. Way up in the air for the rebound, Al Freeman. Spinning, losing his balance, Nuni Amat, and draws the foul. We'll step aside. Good start here in Ames at Hilton. 3-point lead at home for the Cyclones.
What's on the tip of your tongue?
Dumplings.
Archie Will has about 8 inches in the post against Burton.
There's Freeman from the corner. They set him up, and he connects.
Freeman in his first game back on Tuesday, 6 points against Oklahoma, but that's a positive sign right there that he's involved and engaged early.
Just recently off suspension, missed 4 games earlier in February. Does it look like the message that Al Freeman was supposed to get that he got?
Yes, I believe he did, and I talked to Coach Drew about it. He said he's been much better in practice, just more engaged and being a great teammate day in and day out.
He turned around again for Deonte Burton, off to a hot start. He's got 8.
What I love the most about Burton's start right now is that he's playing on the inside. Burton tends to float on the perimeter a ton, wants to shoot threes, handle the basketball, but doing his work all around that Big 12 sign.
Wainwright couldn't connect, but there is the putback from Nuni Amat. Hand check foul called on Jake Lindsey. There's the cut from Burton. And Baylor was asleep at the wheel. Double figures for the 19th time this season already for Deonte Burton 10 minutes in.
Yeah, remember, Burton was the guy that put his name in the draft. When he pulled it out, Coach Prohm and him sat down and really talked about his work ethic. And he said the change in such a short amount of time, Coach Prohm had never seen that in a college player.
Launching wheel is met at the rim by Burton, but it's cleaned up by Wainwright.
That was a heck of a block, man.
Burton steps into a 3. Is he on fire to start? We're going to step aside for 30 seconds and come right back to Ames. Nope, check that. We are going to stay right here as a timeout. It looked like the officials were about to signal at the table, but we'll keep it right here.
Well, I mentioned it, the talk that he had with Coach Prohm in the spring about just being more accountable on and off the court, and there was a tremendous change in Deonte Burton in the spring and summer, and it's paid off as he's having a tremendous senior season.
Wainwright off the mark, knocked out of bounds, and it will stay with Baylor.
I like seeing Ish Wainwright this aggressive. He's a guy that only averages 5 points per game, but he's maybe the most versatile and definitely the most important piece on this team. And he's the most important because he's kind of their energy guy. He's their leader. He's the most vocal player on the floor. He's their best defender. He's an excellent rebounder.
Another out-of-bounds underneath play works to perfection. This time it's Baylor that gets the easy hoop as Wainwright lays it in.
And it's such a rarity that I've seen Ish Wainwright take this many field goals. He's already shot the ball 8 times this half.
Only averages 5.3 points per game. That three comes up short for Mitru Law. Motley is back in the game along with C.J. Maston for the first time for the Bears. Diagonal to Wainwright. Good ball movement back to Freeman, and he's got another three.
Great post pass for Jonathan Motley. He skipped it to the other side of the floor when he saw the double team coming, and that put Iowa State in a rotation situation.
Burton in the corner, shot clock at 5. Sets up Mitru Law. And the rebound to Wainwright. Motley, tough catch through a double team. Out of bounds. Off Maston. It will go to Iowa State. When we come back, Deonte Burton leads all scorers, doing it inside and outside, at the defensive end and the offensive end.
Well, the big fella has been phenomenal in the first half, and they'll need a lot more if they want to get the lead. They'll get the win over Duke. North Carolina is one of my favorites to win the national title. Justin Jackson having a phenomenal year. I think they'll hurt Duke with their inside presence.
Takeaway for the Bears. Rejection again by Burton. And it's out of bounds to Iowa State.
What a play by Deonte Burton. Okay, you make the mistake on one end, and this is like a next play mentality. So many coaches talk to their players about that. Don't hang their head, and look how athletic Deonte Burton is, and he blocks that with his weak hand, his right hand in this case. But he doesn't give up on the play after making the mistake, and he goes and makes up for it on the other end. But this is the Deonte Burton that Coach Prohm and his teammates love. And there's the answer by Donovan Jackson.
That puts Iowa State back on top. From the ball, that'll go against Darryl Bowie. And tonight on ESPN, catch 3 of the top 5 teams in the country. First at 6 Eastern, Kansas against Texas in Austin. And then at 8:15, I think my partner might catch at least and T.J. Maston, and it's Maston that actually gets called for the foul. That's his first.
Motley's so good in the post. When you
jumping out of the pack. Byron Jarrett with a call that works out even better for Iowa State. They tag Motley with a foul.
And that was quite the emphatic call there. You see him moving his feet. He did get away with a little shuffle there, and then the push off to make up for it.
Lindsey and Freeman both sit down for Scott Drew as Manu LeConte comes back in along with King McClure. Monte Morris. Rebound to McClure. McClure sets up Manu LeConte. Offensive rebound. Motley held a man off with one arm and throws it down with the other.
Boy, he's too strong. He just big boy Nick Weiler-Babb out of the way right there and said this was my rebound and took it from him.
Traveling called on the drive by Weiler-Babb.
Well, watch the power and the strength. He gets position on the weak side. Weiler-Babb can't do anything with him, and Motley with the powerful finish.
Baylor has 14 second chance points. Iowa State zip.
Well, that was the biggest concern for Steve Prohm. Can they keep them off the boards, especially the offensive glass? An undersized team Iowa State has.
Deontay Burton able to get back in the game with that right wrist wrapped up. And he will now be tagged with a foul as he's doing his best to keep Jonathan Motley off the block. Easier said than done. That's the first foul on Deontay Burton.
Well, what you like about this Baylor team is that they play to their strengths. They know they have a stud on the inside, and they'll go to him and try to find him and not become a jump shot happy team and settle from the perimeter. They'll work inside and out.
Wheel, jump hook, in and out. Burton with a head of steam. The tip follow won't go. Long rebound of Mitru Long and a reset for Monte Morris.
How about very limited transition opportunities so far for the Cyclones?
Stepping back, Thomas. That's an air ball. Shot clock down to 7. Manu LeConte uses the Lowell screen, gives it back to him. He'll try a 3. Offensive rebound and an easy putback for Motley.
Well, look how he positions himself like he was the defensive rebounder. He got inside of Burton there, and then the soft roll off the rim goes right to Motley.
In the Big 12 this year, there have been 3 20-point, 15-rebound games. Motley's got 2 of them. But knocking down a 3 is Mitru Long. Tied at 34.
But right now, what's the answer going to be for Jonathan Motley on the other end of the floor? You almost have to face guard him. When the shot goes up and he doesn't shoot it, you almost got to face guard him to keep him off the glass.
Motley tries a 3. The long rebound, run down by Mitru Long.
They're trying to work this baseline runner action. They'll put Thomas Morris, and in this case, Mitru Long there.
Deontay Burton, 5 to shoot. Leans back. Got it.
He's feeling himself in the first half, Bob.
He's got 15. I think Scott Drew wants a timeout. 3:14 to go in the first half. It's been a battle of big men. And right now, almost a dead heat between Burton and Motley.
Well, both these guys having phenomenal first halves. You see the strong follow, and then Burton says, I got an answer for you on the step back and the swish.
At British Gas, we've got some great news for our customers. Now you can control your heating from your phone, wherever you are, with Hive Active Heating for just £9 a month. Even better, you won't have to pay anything up front. And you'll never need to heat an empty home again. So,
as effective for the Baylor Bears has been Jonathan Motley. He has 11 double-doubles so far this season, leading the Big 12 in that category. Bob Wischusen here with Miles Simon. And here's Motley again, this time setting up Manu LeConte. Way long. Jake Lindsey, though, runs it down. Didn't hit the rim, so the shot clock at 8. Motley, a deep jumper. Knocks it down, and we are tied up again.
But again, second chance opportunities. Now 18 second chance points. Half the points for the Baylor Bears off of those offensive rebounds.
The 8th time we've been tied here in the first half. Mitru Long. Joel Achuil. With only about a half-second differential between shot clock and game clock. So Scott Drew tells his team, take a beat and get the last shot of the first half.
Motley's the guy that needs to get the touch.
Instead, it's King McClure. Floater comes up short, out of bounds. And still with 2.5 seconds on the clock, a chance for Iowa State.
Now with 2.5 seconds, plenty of time to take one dribble or two, or one dribble and a pass and a shot. Remember, there's two guys with deep range on the floor, Mitru Long and Matt Thomas.
Monte Morris, back to Burton. Good if it goes. That's about the only thing that Deonte Burton didn't do in the first half, leading Iowa State, scoring nearly half their points. Although in the paint, second chance points, Baylor dominated the game we expected. What do you see coming up in the second half?
Well, Iowa State needs to find a way to get out in transition, get some easy baskets that way. Don't let Baylor set up in the half court. And then they have to block out, keep these Baylor Bears who have been dominant in the paint and on the glass. That's
Miles Simon. I'm Bob Wischusen. Great first half. Looking forward to the second half here in Ames. But Reese Davis, Jay Williams, Seth Greenberg, the College Game Day guys have the halftime report from Tempe. Reese?
all right, Bob.
Monte Morris with another Monte Morris first half. 6 assists, no turnovers. He feeds Burton here. And Burton misses a little too strong. Solomon Young, by the way, picked up 2 fouls early. He starts off the second half on the floor, but they were able to survive without that energy freshman that has been a big impact for Steve Prohm since he put Young in the starting lineup.
Well, and he was playing so well in the minutes that he had. 5 points, got the basketball early and often.
Ish Wainwright in double figures for only the 5th time this season. Motley picks up the assist.
I really feel that Ish Wainwright can do what he's doing tonight more often for teams. He's almost too hesitant on the offensive end of the floor.
Mitru Long, short from the corner. Set for Manu LeConte with 8 to shoot. Picks up his dribble. 4 to shoot. Joel Achuil leans in. Tied up by Young. Held ball with 1 second on the shot clock. As we quickly look at our Sonic Showdown, you have to think a number that needs to turn around in the second half for Iowa State. Second chance points. 18 to love for Baylor. 1 on the shot clock here as the Bears throw it in. Wainwright. Offensive rebound. Motley make it 20 second chance points for Baylor.
Well, if Iowa State wants to start cleaning up that glass, they got to start putting bodies onto people. Putting the forearm or your lower body, getting into the legs of either Motley or Achuil or whoever's grabbing the offensive board. Iowa State not exerting any physicality.
Burton, offensive foul call. No, check that. Leaned in on Manu LeConte, and instead LeConte picks up the foul.
And LeConte is hurt on the last possession. He was limping. And remember, he had a bad ankle in the Kansas game. And right now, he's limping noticeably to the bench.
So Jake Lindsey and King McClure now will be the backcourt for Baylor. As LeConte makes his way all the way down to the end of the bench. Morris blocked by McClure.
Well, this zone is just so active. King McClure came from out of the sight line or out of the vision of Morris to block that shot.
Motley out of the double team. They swing it to Lindsey. Way short. Long rebound. McClure able to tip it to Jake Lindsey. Now McClure tries a three. That's off the mark. Motley is able to tap it to Wainwright. Lindsey with 5 to shoot. Lost it. Taken away by Matt Thomas.
Well, even though they get the live ball turnover, just no transition opportunities there for Iowa State.
Tough shot for Burton. Another rebound for Motley.
Iowa State, when you're getting into the half court, and Coach Brohm has said their offense has improved over the last 4 or 5 games because they're getting the ball side to side. Pretty much one pass and done early here in the second half.
Motley in the post. Fades away. Perfect. Extends the largest lead for Baylor up to 6.
Coach Brohm calling for motion. It means he wants more ball and player movement.
Burton. Nice look. By Solomon Young. Talk about beating the zone. Big man to big man.
Well, they got the ball movement there. It started on the left side of the floor. They entered the high post. They were very effective early with that in the first half. If you're Baylor, go right back to Motley.
Looks like he's going to try and fight for position against Young. Instead, McClure lines up the 3. Won't go. Good wall off inside by Burton and Young.
Best block out of the night by far for the Cyclones.
Monte Morris at Loala-Chuil. On a switch and took advantage.
Monte Morris is going to go down as one of the greatest Cyclones ever. Him and George Niang, numbers need to be hanging in the rafters in the next 3 to 5 years.
Motley, triple team. Short. Offensive rebound, Loala-Chuil. Lindsey sets up Motley. Leans in. Blocked by Burton. His 3rd rejection. They love it here at Hilton. 2-point game. 5.5 gone by in the second half. And Deonte Burton and Solomon Young continue to be a force.
Well, the Cyclones hanging around, big-to-big passing, and then your leader, your vet, squares them up. Monte Morris. It's all good.
wins at least, if not the outright title in the Big 12, a share of the title in the Big 12. Miles Simon, you've watched this league all year long. Another impressive showing by KU, and so many times having one of those games often on the road, you think this is the night that Kansas is set up to lose. Over and over again, they just keep finding ways to win.
Yeah, it's truly amazing what they've done this year, and that's why they're one of the favorites to win the national title, get to the Final Four, and doing it really with only 7 guys as Monte Morris knocks down that mid-range jumper.
Are you surprised that that has never come back to haunt them, the lack of depth for Kansas, the way you think it might?
The way that it can haunt them is really foul trouble, which Landon Lucas had a little bit in that Kentucky game, but Colby filled in nicely, or injuries. So if they can avoid that, obviously, and then they fall asleep on the defensive end.
Do they ever?
They have 7 really good players, and really that's almost all you really need to win games at the college level, is 7 good ones. As long as you are healthy, Kansas is going to be fine.
And Baylor's got one really good one, number 5, who has scored 12 of their last 14 points. The one bucket he didn't score, he assisted on. As Burton lines up a jumper from the elbow.
Bob, think about some of the best teams in the country right now in their rotations. Villanova,
Yep.
they're winning with 6 guys in their last few games. They'll have 7 when Daryl Reynolds comes back. UCLA, 7. SMU, 7, sometimes 6. So it's the way you manage it in practice and manage it in the games that really, if depth becomes an issue. Because unless you're pressing, playing full court, denial all over the floor, the guys aren't getting that fatigue.
Motley stepped on the end line.
Well, Jonathan Motley just flashed into the high post. Naz Long turns his back, and I don't know what Deontay Burton was doing right there. His guy was just dribbling the ball, and he just gave up on the play.
Burton lost it. Here comes Al Freeman, fouled by Monte Morris. Smart foul by Morris. That's his second. Monte Morris is number 1 all time in Iowa State history in assists, and has now, coming into today, tied Jeff Hornacek for all time in steals, as well as he already passed him this season for the assist title.
Well, the stat that wows me the most about Monte Morris is that he's on pace to lead the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio for the 3rd time in his 4-year career. Only 7 times has a player led the nation in the same statistical category 3 times. 2 of those guys, Pete Maravich and Oscar Robertson. That is elite company that Monte Morris is going to stand in.
Lindsay tries to feed the post. Diving attempt made by Darryl Bowie. 5 to shoot for Baylor.
Well, the energy and the effort has been ratcheted up on the defensive end for the Cyclones in the last couple minutes.
Freeman in the corner. Fades away. Comes up short. Another offensive rebound for the Bears, and he hangs from the rim.
Well, Baylor has more rebounds total, more offensive rebounds than Iowa State has total rebounds.
15 offensive rebounds for Baylor, only 12 total rebounds, or 11 for Iowa State. Crowd was looking for an over-the-back call here. What do you think?
That was over the back. Should have been called. He put his body into him. That was a foul.
Miles Simon making friends here in Ames. Midway point of the second half. Here's Matt Thomas. That comes up well short. Baylor has struggled of late. They've lost 2 of their last 3 and 4 of their last 7 after starting off the season 20-1. And at one point, for the first time in program history, reaching the #1 spot in the AP poll. And a foul here on Joe Lawal-Achuil as he lost it. Fouled Darryl Bowie. Lawal-Achuil, that's his second. NBA Saturday primetime continues on ABC tonight. A little reunion game. NBA Countdown kicks off at 8 Eastern. D-Wade takes on LeBron. It's the Bulls and Cavs at 8:30. The biggest games of the season on ABC every Saturday night. Monte Morris gives it up. Bowie. He'll go to the line to try and tie it up.
That's what makes Monte Morris so good. Just plays like that. It's almost a busted play. Shot clock winding down. He comes off the ball screen. And he doesn't kill you with like a burst of speed. He kills you with a change of pace. He gets the dribble into the lane and he delivers that pass where only Bowie can catch it and puts him in an effective spot where he can try to score.
Our old partner, Doug Gottlieb, was the last player to lead the Big 12 in assists 3 years in a row. That is until Monte Morris does it this season if he holds on to the assist lead. Right now he's comfortably in front, averaging an even 6 assists per game. And he just never, ever turns it over. He's played 47 career games with no turnovers, 39 career games with 1 turnover. Wainwright, tough catch inside. Looks like he was fouled on the floor. As Mitru Long held Ish Wainwright. That's Mitru Long's first. Freeman, quick trigger. Yes.
That's a nice baseline out of bounds play. Monte Morris did all he could to trail him. He did all the right things defensively. Freeman just hit a tough shot.
8 points now for Al Freeman. He hasn't hit double figures since mid-January. Bowie. Way short. Solomon Young couldn't save it.
I feel like they got to get Deontay Burton back in the game, especially if Baylor's going to play zone.
Motley from the baseline, soft touch, no good. Here comes Monte Morris. Mitru Long drives it. Off the window with English.
Most improved part of his game. He had the bad hips last year, redshirted. He said he feels as healthy as he's ever been, as explosive as he's ever been, because of the rehab and the weight room work.
Amat tries to quiet the crowd. That's in and out. Tapped around, right to Freeman. Another second chance extended possession for Baylor. Spins against Young. Diagonal pass to Amat. Young ties him up. It's out of bounds. Off Amat.
Well, his first couple years in a Cyclone uniform, Naz Long was mostly known as a three-point shooter. But with the improved agility, the change of direction, the sweep up and under, and the English off the glass, that's a heck of a move from Naz Mitru Long.
Also with Joe Lawal-Achuil on the bench with 3 fouls. He's the #1 shot blocker in the Big 12. So when he's not out there, a little more room down the lane for a guard to try and go to the bucket. Let's see what Monte Morris does here. Floater in the lane Motley with 6 to shoot. Ahmad blocked. Solomon Young shut him down at the rim. Bowie to the corner. Jackson at 3. Got it. Largest lead for the Cyclones. Timeout Baylor. We'll step aside for just a moment. They are going wild at Hilton. Monte Morris for 3. Yes!
Bob, I got the chance to talk to Monte Morris when he came out early to shoot before the game. He said, this is the one we have to have today. He goes, I can't look ahead to my senior day on Tuesday. We have to have this game against the Bears.
Baylor has beaten Iowa State 5 consecutive times, including the last 2 trips that they've come here to Hilton. Wainwright off the mark. Out of bounds to Iowa State. The first 12 times Baylor came to Ames, they went home a loser. The last 2 times they've come here to Iowa State, they've won. What happens today? 6:50 left to decide it.
Oh, there's Wi-Fi if you want.
Those scouts got Wi-Fi?
Yeah, there's lots.
Vulnerable because they're the team with the least amount of depth, with them only playing the 7 guys. So you want to get Kansas on the 3rd night of the 3rd game in a row if you can. So you want to stay in that 2 or 3 spot if you're Baylor, Iowa State, or West Virginia.
Monte Morris off balance. Motley hit and is able to fight his way to the free throw line, a place that neither team has spent much time today.
Only 6 total free throws have been shot in this game, but Solomon Young doing the work. Look, he's positioning himself, waiting on the weak side, and then the timing as Motley mistimed his jump. But Solomon Young, the young man from Sacramento, California, Sacramento High School, gets the timely tip in.
Motley shoots 71%. And these last 6 minutes again for Baylor will have to be without Manu LeConte, as he has not gotten up off the bench since limping off about 5 minutes ago. 1 of 2 at the line for Motley. How does that change Baylor offensively if they can't get LeConte back in the game?
Manu LeConte is their big shot maker. He had the game winner against Iowa State earlier this year, the final 11 points against VCU in a win, and a huge 3, a dagger 3 against Ole Miss during the Big 12 SEC Challenge.
4 to shoot. Jackson throws up a wild one. Lindsey stood his ground. That's a shot clock violation. Baylor was able to survive against Oklahoma on Tuesday, but their offense was not the reason why.
Well, I said it in the first half of this game. And Baylor's defense has been phenomenal, one of the best in the country all season long. But over the last month or so, they have struggled on the offensive side of the floor. Motley's been the only consistent guy to score the basketball. LeConte had the ankle injury.
Motley here goes goes right at Burton. That's in and out. Lawal Achuil. The tip follow won't go. They keep it alive again. Check that. Over the back is called. That is the call that the crowd has been looking for all afternoon, and that time they got it on Motley. Is tonight on ESPN. We've got an excellent doubleheader that we will begin with in the Big 12. Kansas takes on Texas at 6. And then our Saturday primetime game in the Pac-12 at 8:15. UCLA against Arizona tonight at 6 and 8:15. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Well, Bob, you have to remember one of the reasons why Baylor has struggled at times. They're not a team that manufactures a lot of turnovers. So they don't get out in transition and get easy opportunities.
Well, Motley tries to push it here. And Lindsey will back it out.
See, even that opportunity right there, because Motley had the ball, the transition opportunity fizzled out.
Motley tips in his own miss. Baylor is number 1 in the Big 12 in opponents' points against, opponent field goal percentage, and opponent three-point percentage. So they are a team that can get stops in the last 4 minutes to give themselves a chance at the offensive end. Deontay Burton blocked by Lawal Achuil. There's a stop by the number 1 shot blocker in the Big 12.
Well, if you're Burton, you got to go right to his chest. You can't pivot and pump fake against a shot blocker like Lawal Achuil.
Lawal Achuil lost it. Knee true long, flips it ahead to Jackson. Motley was fouled. Free throws for Jonathan Motley when we come back, but a 6-point lead for Iowa State. The final 3:18 in a moment.
We came to give India back her freedom.
That's only the 15th foul called against Baylor. And tonight after college basketball, Sports Center at night with Max and the coach recapping the day in college hoops, the NBA, the NHL, and more. Sports Center at night tonight after BYU Gonzaga on ESPN. Deontay Burton around Lawal Achuil. That's great footwork.
Pivoted around the big fella to lay it in and get to a strong hand.
Wainwright picked up his dribble. Freeman for 3. Yes! Al Freeman has answered the bell this afternoon, especially with Manu Lacan on the bench with the ankle injury.
And for me, no matter what happens today for the Baylor Bears, this is still a step in the right direction overall as a team, with Al Freeman and Ish Wainwright asserting themselves on the offensive end of the floor.
Monte Morris finds Burton, gets caught underneath. Wild pass taken away by Wainwright. Here comes Lindsey.
Freeman's open.
Lindsey gives it up. Motley throws it down. 1-point game with 1:45 to go.
Nice decision by Jake Lindsey.
Steve Prohm wants a timeout. 1:35 remaining. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Iowa State with the basketball when we come back.
Don't you want? Don't you want?
So now who wants the ball in their hand with Manu Lecomte, their big shot maker, on the bench?
Freeman gets the screen from Motley. Able to tap it into the backcourt. That is over and back.
And that's the right call because Al Freeman was about 10 feet from us, Bob. And that was a controlled tip into the backcourt.
Scott Drew is all the way out at midcourt. Paul Jansen wants him back on the bench, but he wants the officials to go to the monitor.
We see the deflection there. And then Al Freeman, that's a controlled tip. And then Motley was the first to touch it. And that's the correct call by the officials on the over and back. And there you can see on that possession, Bob, is why Manu Lecomte is so important to this team. Because he's probably their best pick and roll player in that situation because of his threat to score or pass.
Baylor still has a foul to give before we get to the 1-and-1. So it will be Iowa State ball with a 4-point lead. Just under 50 seconds to go. Are you telling your team, if you're Scott Drew, be aggressive here? You've got a foul to give?
Yeah, you try to play for the steal. You don't want to foul on a shot. I think you can play this possession out with the 19.9 20-second difference between shot and game.
Well, there's the foul to give as Ish Wainwright is all over Monte Morris before Iowa State can even throw it in. So now it will be free throws the rest of the way for the Cyclones.
Now, the only thing that Scott Drew he might want to do is if Solomon Young gets a touch of the ball, maybe put the freshman at the line in a pressure-packed situation, a guy that's only 63% on the year. And that's what they did. But I like the strategy, and Scott Drew is clapping about that. So basically, he told his guys to commit an intentional foul without making it look like an intentional foul. So when Solomon Young was about to go set a screen, Jonathan Motley just grabbed him around the waist.
That's Motley's third. A 1-and-1 for Young.
Now, if you're Iowa State, you don't want to let them score quickly.
Solomon Young says, you want to foul me? No problem. Didn't touch the rim on 2 free throws. Deontay Burton gets the steal. Mitru Long is fouled.
Well, there's been a knock over his career about his effort on the defensive end, but not today. Deontay Burton, the man with the pink shoes and pink socks, because his mother passed away from breast cancer, is impacting the game on both ends of the floor. A quiet second half on the offensive end, but he hasn't hung his head, and he makes arguably the biggest play of the game. And then the young man, Solomon Young, huge contribution.
Deontay Burton came into this season only with a 2.7 rebound per game average for his career. This year, he's in the top 10 in the Big 12 in scoring, rebounding, steals, and blocks.
Burton is the guy that makes the Cyclones dangerous.
Baylor can't wait. They've got to get shots up, and most likely from 3. Down to 30 seconds to go. Here's Wainwright to try one. Motley an offensive rebound. He'll lay it back in. Final timeout called by Scott Drew with his team down by 6 with 23.6 seconds to go. It's another double-double, the 12th of the season for Jonathan Motley. Just as good as Jonathan Motley has been for Baylor. You can make an argument Deonte Burton has been that much better for Iowa State.
Well, you know what he's done? He's gotten everything within the flow of the offense. He never felt today like the ball was sticking in his hands when he got a touch. He's best when he makes his decisions quickly on the offensive end, not when he's sizing the guy up, putting the ball on the floor 3 or 4 times. Catch and shoot, drive to the basket when you get it, and even on this one, he caught and shot it, and he banked it in from the top of the key, but it was a quick decision. Burton's so active on both ends of the floor, the difference in the game for the Cyclones.
Now here's the question for Steve Prohm. Iowa State still has 2 fouls to give. So at some point during this huddle, in spite of the fact that the Cyclones have the basketball, are you reminding your guys, fellas, we can be very aggressive defensively as long as we don't foul in the act of shooting. You can be all over guys in the backcourt and not fear putting Baylor on the line.
I don't think you even bring it up right now. You don't have to, because you're up 6. You have the ball. You concentrate on making your free throws. And what you tell them to do is, once we hit our free throws, when we play defense, we can't give up anything quickly, like a straight line drive for a layup or a direct 3-point shot. We want to make them use some time off the clock.
Baylor needs a steal here in the worst way. They'll pick up full court, no one on the ball.
And now they have their 4 best foul shooters as the guys receiving the inbounds.
And Morris is fouled immediately by Wainwright. So it will be a 1-and-1 from Monte Morris, team foul number 9 for the Baylor Bears.
And now they should bring Solomon Young back in the game for defensive purposes and rebounding.
And here he comes. Iowa State hasn't missed at the line yet today. Monte Morris with his first trip, but his teammates are a collective 9 for 9. Seconds to go. Wainwright for 3. It goes down. The lead at 5 with 13 seconds to go. And Baylor lines up trying to get a steal. Unless a foul was called out at midcourt. And it is a foul. Quickly, Motley went over and hugged Solomon Young.
Now, I've never seen that before, because Iowa State didn't even have a guy taking the ball out of bounds yet. And Motley was able to commit a foul at half court.
So they challenge Solomon Young to hit free throws again. It's the double bonus, as that was team foul number 10. Two misses for Young. 10 seconds to go. Lindsay will drive to the corner of 3. It's good. It's a 2-point game as McClure knocks one down. 4 seconds remaining. And a timeout called by Steve Prohm.
Well, that's a smart timeout by Prohm. Now they'll get Solomon Young out of the game, and they'll get Matt Thomas in. But how about the never say die attitude for this Baylor Bear team? And the excellent strategy to foul while the ball was still a dead ball. Not enough college coaches use that.
So now I want to put you in the Baylor huddle. Scott Drew. If you are able to foul quickly without getting a steal, let's jump ahead. If they get the steal, obviously you've created what you wanted to create. But you jump ahead. you don't get the steal. 4 seconds to go or so. Or you drawing up a 3-point set, counting on hopefully 1 free throw miss. I mean, how are you approaching when your team may get one last opportunity with the basketball, and what you think the score will be when you do?
Well, you draw it up right away. They're going to need a 3 almost no matter what, unless they miss both of these free throws. So you draw up your play now, and it's something has to be a home run type of play, and it can still be off the dribble, because you imagine this foul is going to happen within a half second to a second, which when you go shoot your free throws, you're going to have about 3.5 seconds of game time left, plenty of time to get a couple dribbles and then get some type of shot up.
And it's something you've practiced over and over again, right?
Yes.
Situationally at the end of practice.
Yeah, and you should have been practicing it since October or even September. End of game situations.
This time the 6'9" Nooni Ahmad is on the ball trying to distract Deontay Burton, who gets it into Morris. They can't get the steal. A foul on Wainwright, but boy, that was not an immediate foul. 1.4 seconds to go. So about 2.5 valuable seconds comes off the clock for Baylor as they're reaching in on Monte Morris.
And they weren't fouling him, so it was a good job by the officials by not anticipating a foul being called.
So 2 free throws for Monte Morris can ice it. 1 free throw made, and Baylor would still have a chance to throw one in at the buzzer. So Baylor's not dead yet. It almost benefits with 1.4 seconds on the clock. Morris maybe to miss this free throw.
He should miss it. Baylor has no timeouts. He should miss it.
Takes it instead. So now the Bears will have a chance to throw it in.
Now, Ish Wainwright, former football player, he is a best home run guy. Watch for Motley flashing and then a kick out.
There's the lob. Motley catches it. McClure for the tie. Off the mark. What a win for Iowa State. They knock off number 9 at home. And they survived a furious offensive rebounding day by Baylor, especially by Jonathan Motley.
Well, Iowa State playing some of their best basketball. Deontay Burton and Solomon Young were phenomenal. But I like the progress the Baylor Bears made, especially Ish Wainwright. Al Freeman more aggressive on the offensive end.
The first of 2 Big 12 games in a row here on ESPN, because coming up next, Kansas will look to win again on the road. They're down in Austin to take on Texas. Dave Pash and Bill Walton will be there with the call. The final score here in Ames. The Cyclones outlast Baylor 72-69. Kansas and Texas is next, but first, Doug Kazarian and LaFonso Ellis back in the studio. Doug?
All right, Bob, thank you very much. Just a reminder, a little over 10 minutes from now, Player of the Year candidate Frank Mason